Well, let's move into the wide receivers. Obviously, without a couple of them that we mentioned earlier for this spring. But the goal of this Notre Dame offense, I would say, is to get more explosive. That's a nice big general goal. I think for a lot of offenses is to be more explosive. Well, Notre Dame is in that category. Bringing in Sam Hartman, Riley Leonard over the last couple of years, I feel like you really haven't hit that upper echelon of downfield passing that you maybe would have expected with bringing in those top flight transfers. Well, as they figure out the quarterback situation, they also need to sort the wide receivers. Just in a general sense, what do you think about this wide receiver room?
What's funny, I was looking at it today as far as who's actually going to be here for the spring. At the Jordan Faison's, he's a lacrosse bro,
Yep.
so he's doing his lacrosse thing. And Malachi Fields isn't here yet. He doesn't come until fall camp. Micah Gilbert's hurt. So I don't think that they have anyone at the X or boundary that probably will play at least meaningful ones or twos currently on the spring roster. So it's going to be a fun opportunity for the freshmen to sort of put up, get an opportunity to show their wares. And it's nice that all three early enrolled, because one thing that helped, Micah Gilbert last year was the early enrollment. Cam's going to catch him. Cam Williams is going to catch him on the number of springs that he's had. And I think it's a big spring for Cam Williams as well, to be able to, have an opportunity to do that. I think they have a lot of potential. The Great House thing is one where I think what's holding my hype for him back, despite posting 100-yard, his first 100-yard receiving games of the year last year in the playoff, what's holding me back is the consistency. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that answered in the spring. But I think I'm higher on the wide receivers this year from a talent standpoint than I've been in a while. I like KK Smith. I like Cam Williams. They supposedly nice things are being said about Scrap Richardson and Elijah Burris and, Jerome Bettis Jr. As the young guys. Logan Saldate, interested in seeing, what that looks like as well. There's just a lot of talent and speed at the position. And it's not like, I don't know, the 2020 season where they basically had 3 wide receivers that they could trust on the field, and that was it at the end of the year. So if, I'm trying to think of the play, but I'm pretty sure it was one where Benny Sco runs a go route. And I think it was against Clemson in the ACC title game. And he runs a go route. He doesn't get the pass, and he comes back and there's nobody to spell him. And he's just, he runs down the field 65 yards, and he's got to hurry back to the line of scrimmage, and he's just nothing left in the tank. Don't have anybody to bring him in. That's one thing that's nice. And I think when you have a lot of these guys too, that when there's competition, it helps sharpen the, iron sharpens iron. And I like the addition. Malachi Fields is a pretty good addition. And I think he'll fit in day one when he gets in there. So yeah, it's a pretty good mix. It's a better mix than they've had in recent years.
Yeah. So I look at the wide receiver position maybe just a tad different, only because I think it's one of those positions where, yes, Malachi Fields and Will Pauling aren't here in the spring. And you obviously have Faison with his lacrosse stuff, as you mentioned in the beginning. So you have some guys who are probably inserted at least in the middle area of the depth chart. They're not going to be under, the freshmen or some of the sophomores who have taken less than 10 snaps or anything like that. But I think if there's an individual outside of Greathouse that were to really separate himself, I think that is definitely somebody I would want to. And not that you weren't saying this, but I think that's also something I would really buy into. Come fall, if KK Smith has something to show, being somebody who's a little bit older too, and has actually gotten some playing time. I think that is something that I want to take a look at and be like, hey, am I hearing anything here? Because if I'm not, his time might be up. Like if or somebody else, like if I'm not hearing anything, then I like, on the other side, then maybe I am looking towards the younger guys to provide some sort of spark if the new additions and Great House doesn't take that next step. But I think if they do take another step, or if there's something in that spring game without a quarterback that is established, I think that is a really, really good sign.
Do you know that there is only one senior wide receiver on this roster that Notre Dame has recruited?
No, actually.
And do you know? Well,
I was taking a look at the. I have the years.
Can you guess? Can you guess who that wide receiver is?
That Notre Dame recruited, who's currently a senior. Would a redshirt junior count?
Yeah, we'll say that. Is there a redshirt junior? I don't think so.
Oh,
I think it's just one.
Shoot, I'm looking at the depth chart. I don't even.
Oh, you're not going to find it.
Oh, I'm not going to find it?
You're not going to find it because that wide receiver is Tyler Buchner.
Oh my goodness.
That's the only senior. That's the only senior wide receiver they have lining up this spring. Is Tyler Buchner, quarterback.
Oh, I should have got that. I'm mad at myself for that. Dang it.
That's one of those fun questions, right? Yeah. Well, you were. Yeah, it was a setup. But yeah. Tyler Buchner is the only.
That's a really good point, though, that you're missing somebody at the very top of that depth chart that you should potentially be having. Obviously, Will Pauling's a grad transfer, but yeah, wow, Tyler Buchner.
Yeah, Tyler Buchner. There you go. Tyler Buchner, depending on how the transfers play out with the QB battle, I mean, Tyler Buchner might be getting QB reps in the fall too. I wouldn't rule that out. Like there definitely is a scenario where I could see both Minchie and Jelly bouncing, depending on how the spring goes. Like, let's say, we don't really know yet, but let's say, CJ Carr is the goods and straight up wins the job, and then Minchie and Jelly bounce out, and then you look at the quarterback position and you go, I guess Blake Herbert and Tyler Buchner. Yeah. That's your room.
I mean, we were talking a lot about not being able to know 100% of some of these questions or the answer to them 100% definitively. I mean, yeah, if somebody has a Sam Hartman type of spring game, well, yeah, we're going to know. I think we're going to have an answer fairly quickly. If that's CJ Carr, I'd imagine both guys go out, and you got Tyler Buchner out here almost writing a script that he could sell to Hollywood eventually. We have another Notre Dame football movie coming down the pipe here, maybe in like 2035, because if he were to have some sort of moment.
Yeah, I could just picture it now. I mean, like Angeli and Minchie bounce, CJ Carr wins the job. CJ Carr gets hurt in the Texas A&M game. Tyler Buchner has to step in, and he leads them to a national championship. I mean, you get Joel Schumacher on the line. Maybe we can get Hans Zimmer to do a soundtrack for us.
Oh, that would be great. And then none of the players would have to complain about putting their jerseys on the table and saying that wasn't true for all the years after the movie was revealed or released. That would be great. Doesn't take away the shine.
We just thought it was a joke.